Hi all, and welcome along to this part 22 of this hit and miss engine. In this part, as you'll see, things didn't go to plan. I was wanting to make that little extension for the crankshaft, and things didn't go too clever. So, without ado, I'll let you go and have a look and see what I did wrong. What I might do is part a piece off. And jaws at about 23 mil deep. Just I don't want to be damaging work as I'm doing it, so 32 mil piece. I'll say I'm going to have to probably make this 2 or 3 times before I get it right. But it don't matter, we've got plenty of it, it's on a scrap stock. Be that far away from the chuck, and would it affect me getting a die holder in? Going to be very close to the chuck, which tells me I really want to put the male thread on first. Once turning down from 10 to 8 for that thread, and I'm going to be turning this backwards because it's a left hand thread. Don't know if my chuck will screw itself off, I might have to do it all by hand, but we only need a short thread. But like I said, that isn't running straight, and it could be because it's a long length. So what I might do is chop a length. Let's chop this piece up. Screw on the handle, which is very short, as in the threads. There's only 2 threads in there, it's not really deep enough, but and that goes on there. I think it's torn the thread. Yeah, it has, just ripped it. I'm going to start again. Just rip that thread off. Yeah, it's no good. I'll start again. So that can go into naughty jar. Maybe I didn't chamfer it enough. Probably need to leave a bit more thread on as well. A bit more shank on there to make a longer thread. It is a bit short there. I can always shorten the thread, I can't lengthen it, can I? Right, I'm going to make another. I will come back when it's made, because otherwise you're just going to see me make another. I'm having a few problems with this job. Right, it's slipping in chuck. I'm doing like an eighth of a thread at a time here. It probably tells me I should have undercut this bar by another 1/4 mil. Maybe it should have been 7.75 instead of 8. Quick focus. Try and blank everything else out because blooming focus tries to concentrate. That's the original part of the clutch, I think, that came off. So that's a decent fit in there. So that's the male thread done. I'm going to have to drill this deeper than I'd like because the tap is a universal tap. You only get one in packet and it's like a number 2. So I'm going to have to go quite deep with this. You see? Oh. Yeah, it doesn't start cutting a clean thread till about 5 mil in, nearly 6 mil in. Broke right through and I broke end off. Failure number 2, guys. Failure number 2. All exciting stuff in it. So far I would have pretty much wasted day here. Will that be hot? I've knocked end off it. Oh gosh. Another failure. I'll pull this back. All a shame, look. All a shame. Never mind, guys. You can't make mistakes to get it right. Sometimes. I don't often get it that wrong, do I? Oh dear. I've got to laugh because if I didn't I'd cry. Yeah, I'm going to finish my cup of tea and switch off, I think, for tonight. That's what you get when you're not working to drawings, I guess. I'll leave that there for another day. Right, I'm going to finish threading that in the vise. I'm a bit dubious about the quality of that tap of an unknown make with some Chinese writing on it. Well, we've now got a longer crankshaft. I've still got to trim some up back of this alloy off because that's too fat. The camera's at a funny old angle, I hope you can see it right. I'm going to have to sort them arms out and get some batoons. It might just need a right little bit of emery on there, but other than that it's going to do its job. Right, I screwed on the extension that I made and it was running out 9 thou on the tip of it when I rotated the crankshaft within its bearings. So I thought, well, I'll get DTI out and give it a bit of a test, and I did. And I don't think it's that's bent, that's offset that far. This crankshaft, I reassembled this and pressed it together myself and then sort of tapped it about with copper hammer until I got good readings. However, my readings aren't good enough. We'll see what we've got here, look. I mean, remember this is point, no. I've got to try and do this without knocking camera. Difficult, 'cause I've got my arm behind it. I can get to a point where I can do a 0. Oh, there's 0 there. Yeah, that's going minus, so I'll get as far as I can minus. It's so sensitive, is this? Just touching it to 0 it. Best I can get. My sweeping brush is attacking me now. Right, so let's sorry. So we're nearly 8/1000ths of an inch out on the shaft, the actual normal shaft. This not with the, that's the extension we made that in on. That's just the end of the normal crank. I'm not sure whether that video I've just done has wiped itself out, so I'm going to do this again. So that's about halfway along my extension that I've made. One thou, 2 thou, 2.2. Okay, so my extension that I've made is running out 2 thou on this crankshaft. So let me move off what I've made onto the original crankshaft and let's see what we've got. One 1.6, 1.7, 1.5. 1.7 thou and a half. The original's running out, and I've got 2 thou on my piece that I've put on. I'm not far out, am I? I'm 0.3 of a thou. What's that, 30 microns? I don't know, but I'm not far out. So the bit I've done is nearly bang on to the crank, although the crank's running out by a couple of thou. We're going to have to accept that. That's good. Got to remember, this is not running at 10,000 RPM. It's going to run at, I think they say, about maximum 600 every time it kicks the chute up to about 600 RPM. I don't think that's going to fly. I mean, it's not even tick over on a normal car, is it? 600. So one person had said to me, why don't you put your flywheel on the other end, but didn't realise that there is a flywheel on each end. There's one on this end and one on this end, but that is the short end, which is, sorry I'm not camera, but that's the short end. Now this is the long end. Now I've extended it, you can see I've got my thread back. That's the 12mm part and the rest of this is 10. This carries the gear for the primary drive for the exhaust valve. This drives the little shuttle, what's going to move up and down, and this will disappear through the flywheel. So I've made progress. I'm bombing crankshaft back in again. I'm not tightening everything silly tight. Well then, a little spacer on there. I can't remember why, but it's there for a purpose. And then our timing gear. Then our spacer. Now then, might have a problem getting this on. Yeah. still got to bend these fingers. Yep. So that's all back together. That's actually not tight, but it'll be tightened and Loctited on eventually. That looks a lot more promising, does that? Yeah, that's a lot better. I could see it wobbling it before, and it's not now. That's great. So now we've got all this extension. A little V-block down. Sit my flywheel on. Not that we're going to get it far on because these fingers are going to be in the way, but we can see how far out I can bring this flywheel now. Oh, there's a lovely gap behind there. In fact, it wants to go further in than that. So there's room for the boss on here. It needs to go in further anyway because those fingers have got to protrude through enough to get the weights on. You've got to drill the end of those, and if you can see them, yeah, got to drill the end of those and tap them, probably M2. I don't know if I might get away with M3, I don't know. And fasten the little weights on that swing out, and then there's got to be a boss. So there's still a lot to do on the governor part, but we've made a lot of progress. As I say, these fingers are going to need either bending or a little set putting in them, or possibly remaking. So let's pulp valve. Valve open. Yeah, so I can latch. Put that up. That's latched. And that's unlatched. I might need to remove a bit of metal off that. And that's free to spin. We're getting there. Still need to shave a bit off that, but I've got all this now to work with, and I'm pleased it turned out reasonably well. As I say, they only run at 600 RPM, which is not a great deal. I'm still not sure whether these are too heavy. That's as far as we've got with this part 22, and I might publish this because it's only a little shorty. Well, as you've just seen, things didn't go right cleverly, did they? Made a bit of a hash of it, but it all ended up pretty good in end. I got the crankshaft what I thought were quite good. I spoke to a friend of mine who uses knife edges doing crankshafts on old British bikes. They're like a pair of blades that, well, the rollers, and they cross each other. He don't use bearings, he uses these knife edges. He said they're more accurate, and then he has DTIs on the end. And I rung him and I said, look, could I bring this crank over and let you have a go with it? And he said, how far have you got with it? And I said, well, I've had another go tonight, and I've managed to get it with the extension on about 2.5 thou. I said in total, and he said, that ain't bad. He said, how fast is it going to run? You're more concerned about the speed of it. And when I told him, I said, maximum I think they're about 600. I said, but most of the time they're freewheeling. He said, I won't bother. He says, 600's not even tick over on a motor. He said, no. He said, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. He says, don't worry. So with that, I put it back together, and you've seen it. So we've made a little bit more progress. Not as much as I would have liked to have done, but hey, we've done what we've done. So that's part 22 done. And as I said, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I've got this TVR, and I want to overhaul all suspension, brakes and everything, and I want to do some little YouTuber videos of doing that, which is not to everybody's liking, but to some people's. And I've ordered lots of parts for it, for the rear end first, and then I'll attack the front end later, and we'll see where we get with that. But thanks for watching. you know, feel free if you want to comment, because, you know, I'm a very much an amateur. I've never made one of these before, and I know some of you guys have made loads of them. So yeah, I'm trying to make it as pretty as I can and as, you know, as nice as I can, but it's just slowed right down. We'll get there eventually. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to subscribe, tell all your mates, tell all your friends in pub. Thank you.